on educators as mentors, enhancing well-being through counseling. Over the past 4 days, we have had pleasure of attending engaging sessions on various topics including guidance, counseling, mentoring, communication, conflict resolution, and identification of talent and underachievers. Today, we have the privilege to discussing two critical subjects, ethical and legal considerations, and students supporting well-being in the digital age. You are already familiar with our today's guest. On behalf of HGM Azam College of Education and Dr. P.A. Inamdar University, I extend my warm welcome to our distinguished speaker, Ms. Isha Kanhare ma'am, professor at Jana Prabodhini Institute of Psychology. We are eager to hear your insights and expertise on the crucial issue and kindly invite you to begin this presentation.
Thank you, ma'am. So yes, I welcome everyone and good afternoon, everyone. I hope you are enjoying the sessions and finding it fruitful or engaging in your actual work as an educator. So just would you like to share some your takeaways or insights in last 4 days regarding the well-being of students, how to identify conflicts, how to identify talents of different students. So yes, it would be great if this session, if the session is participatory. So your insights, your takeaways, your questions are more than welcome here. You can use the chat box or you can unmute yourself and share your takeaways. So yesterday you had a session on communication skill, right? So you know how the communication is essential in overall education and guidance counseling. I don't want this one-way communication. Communication cannot work if only one person is speaking. So yes, your takeaways. Yes. Anything you remember or you recollect from last 4 days? Anything which was new for you? Or any unlearning that happened to you during the last 4 days?
Participant can unmute themselves and participate. And some are actually using chat box also.
Yes. So, yes, understanding the difference between these three: conflict resolution, what student means, helping him express better, right? 7 C's of communication, right? Okay, thank you so much for your participation. Thank you so much for sharing. Identification of learners, yes. Yes. So as an educator, as a mentor, our job is not just to identify problems, but also to enhance different abilities of different students in our classroom or in general students in our colleges or schools. Yes, and there is I guess, a Japanese proverb which says that it takes a village to raise a child. So just only parent is not responsible, or only parent is not completely capable to for the enhancement or a growth of any child. But as a teacher, as an educator, school has a very crucial role in overall child development. So yes, I'm getting responses in the chat box. Thank you so much. Principles of guidance, high ability students, mentoring. Yes, mentoring needs a serious affair. It's a serious business basically, and needs our total involvement. Yes, right. Okay. Yes. Thank you so much, everyone, for sharing. Now let us begin with today's topic: nurturing in potential. Right. So, for the next 30 minutes or so, we are going to discuss about ethical and moral considerations in the guidance and the counseling, and even mentoring as well. So, basically, you must have like heard about these higher order ethical principles. These are basically come from medical point of perspective, but these are essential for any professionals, and especially those who are in the service section and those who are in the supportive professionals like teachers, educators, counselors, mentors. So first thing is autonomy. So autonomy is basically respecting a child's right, oh, understanding that child has some rights and some duties as well, and promoting the student's independence. So I remember on the first day we were discussing about what if the student comes to us for the ready-made decisions, or they generally want ready-made solutions from us for any specific problem in their life. But we are here to promote the autonomy, promote the independence of every student, basically. Then the next is beneficence. So it is basically duty to do good. So guided by aspirational virtues of of the guide or the mentor to do good, to do to work for basically students or a child's well-being. The next is non-maleficence. That means not to do bad, so not to harm child in any way. Of course, not in physical, but not in emotional way as well. So avoid exploiting the student or the child. Do take care that we are not harming the student in any other way. Then next is fidelity. That means responsibility to be loyal, to be faithful and truthful to the student. So understanding their needs and rights and being loyal. So not to, so as some of you have discussed in the chat box, that the mentoring or education is basically the serious business, serious thing, and which and very crucial need of any individual in our society. So respecting that is a need, and we are someone like most important stakeholders in that well-being journey of any individual. And the last is basically justice. So treating equally every student. That's again a challenging thing for a teacher, for an educator, or for a mentor to do, because there are a lot of students are there. So it's difficult to keep our own biases, own stereotypes aside. As a human being, it's very natural to have some biases, some prejudices or stereotypes, which is completely natural as we are human beings. But while dealing, while forming or generating any relationship with a student, while mentoring, it is essential to have that justice. So treating equally every student basically. So providing fair and equal treatment or relationship, and also the access to the mentoring or the guidance or the counseling as well. And one more thing that I haven't mentioned over here that that is more necessary that we will discuss in after few slides. That is basically self care of an educator. So as an educator, it is also important that you must have read some quotes or seen some images on internet or any social media that you cannot fill from an empty jar, right? So educators well-being, educators self-care is also very crucial, right? Do you all agree with this, or we can just take 2-3 responses about what as an educator you do for your own well-being? Yes. So, as an educator, as a teacher, as a guide, counselor, what do you do for yourself, for your own well being, for your own mental health? Yes, we remain inspired and motivated. Meditation, okay. Yes, following some hobby. Yes. So, our own self care is also crucial in this journey. Okay, so basic question is focused on goals, taking a break. Very, very important to have break, taking a pause in between, reading, updating yourself and current trends. Absolutely. Yes. So moving ahead, uh, now we are going to discuss some ethical, moral, legal considerations while in the process of mentoring or guiding or counseling. So basically, the first question is why to follow ethical principles. So, do we follow the ethical principles because they are compulsory or the mandatory in a school? Yes. Okay. For character building, yes, very nice. Or if we do not follow something, that it might lead to some punishment or fine. Or we do it for because following ethical principles is there is an effect of our, yes, absolutely, physical well-being of student. So because they are essential for well-being, or following positive ethical practice will lead to become a best practitioner. So someone has rightly said that character building, and have that conscious thought always behind our mind that our actions are going to it is going to matter. It is going to have some the other effect on students' well-being. It can be positive or it can be negative. So just I would just like to share one YouTube video with you. I want you to watch it carefully.
Lawrence Kohlberg's theory claims that our development of moral reasoning happens in 6 stages. The stages themselves are structured in 3 levels: pre-conventional, conventional, and post-conventional. To understand this better, imagine a conflict at school. There is a fight in the schoolyard. 2 ninth graders are beating up Tom. Those who watch the fight are at different stages of moral development. Let's see what they do and how they justify their behavior. At stage 1, we make moral judgments based on obedience and punishment. Finn's sense of good or bad is directly linked to whether he gets punished or not. Finn sees what is happening to his friend and wants to help, but he doesn't because he is afraid the teacher may punish him if he gets caught fighting. He asks himself, how can I avoid punishment? At stage 2, we are motivated by self-interest. Mary decides to intervene and help Tom. She knows that she might get punished, but she also knows that she could become a victim herself someday. If she helps Tom now, he might help her in the future. She is asking herself, what's in it for me? At stage 3, interpersonal accord and conformity guide our moral judgment. Betty sees the fight and wants to intervene, but when she realizes that all the others are just watching, she decides not to get involved. She wants others to see that she is a good girl who is conforming with the ethics of the community. She asks herself, what do others think of me? At stage 4, we value authority and want to maintain social order. When the teacher sees the group fighting, he immediately steps in and shouts, "Stop! Fighting at school is forbidden." He feels that, above all, it is important to follow the rules, otherwise chaos breaks out. He feels it is his duty to uphold the rules that sustain a functioning society. He asks himself, how can I maintain law and order? At stage 5, we understand rules as a social contract, as opposed to a strict order. Jessie, who watches from afar, is not sure how she feels about this. To her, rules make sense only if they serve the right purpose. Obviously, the school rules prohibit fighting, but maybe Tom deserves to finally learn his lesson. Just yesterday, he punched a young girl from grade 1. She asks herself, does a rule truly serve all members of the community? At stage 6, we are guided by universal ethical principles. All those involved now have to face the headmaster. He first explains the school rules and why they exist. He then clarifies that rules are valid only if they are grounded in justice. The commitment to justice carries with it an obligation to disobey unjust rules. The headmaster's highest moral principle is compassion. He believes that all people should learn to understand each other's viewpoints and that they don't feel alone with their feelings. He asks, what are the abstract ethical principles that serve my understandings of justice? At the pre-conventional level, Finn is driven by fear and Mary by self-interest. Both judge what is right or wrong by the direct consequences they expect for themselves and not by social norms. This form of reasoning is common among children. At the conventional level, Betty responds to peer pressure, and the teacher follows the rules. Their morality is centered around what society regards as right. At this level, the fairness of rules is seldom questioned. It is common to think like this during adolescence and adulthood. At the post-conventional level, Jessie knows that things are complicated because individuals may disobey rules inconsistent with their own morality. The headmaster follows a universal ethical idea, at complete disconnect with what society thinks or the rules say. To him, everything is solved through compassion. The right behavior, in his opinion, is therefore never a means to an end, but always an end in itself. Not every person reaches this level. The American psychologist Lawrence Kohlberg based his work on Piaget's theory of cognitive development. In order to confirm his theory of stages of moral development, Kohlberg interviewed boys between the ages of 10 and 16. He analyzed how they would justify their decision when confronted with different hypotheticals.
Yes, I stopped the video in between because the later part was something different. I just wanted to show you that three different stages of moral development. I can see Ankush sir has raised their hand. Sir, do you have any question or anything to share? Yes, I guess maybe by mistake he has raised the hand. So, okay, you saw the video. Is there anyone who was familiar with this Kohlberg's moral development theory? Okay, so what did you understand by these three different stages, or what the example was shared in the video? Did you find the difference between different stages, different choices the students or the teachers or the principal made for the same situation, for the same conflict? Yes. Were there any difference? Yes. Right. So the all three, I mean, basically the six stages were totally like different from each other. The first very basic pre-conventional stage is basically how can I get how can I avoid the punishment. Yes, differences between behavior uh, at every stage. The conventional stage was, on the other hand, was like how can I fit in the social norms. If others not doing anything to it, I don't want to be in a bad eyes of my teacher, so I am not sure what to do, but I will stay what others are doing. So basically avoiding punishment, or staying in a good book, something like that. And the third uh, is basically post-conventional stage. So these stages occur in students in overall child development or human development at different stages. So for child for who is 3 year old, you can see that the child easily picks up something from someone else's houses or from the daycare. So because the child is at that age, the child is not aware of these moral things, right? So, but when the child is grown up, when the child is 7, 8 or more years, the child slowly develops this sense of morality, right? So these stages, as per the Kohlberg, are developed throughout our development, throughout our maturation and growth. So, but still, not everyone can achieve that post-conventional stage. We still follow the rules because like it's very common example that we easily break the signal on the road if the policeman is not there, right? So we, in the sense, I'm not saying you all 60 people and me, I'm just saying that in the society it is very easily we can easily see that, right? But there are very rare people that even at the night where the traffic is very low, or very early in the morning where traffic is very low, but still signals are going, there is no police person around there, but still there are, we can see there are people who follow the traffic rules, right? So this is why they follow the traffic rules, because they have something like social contract, or they have that higher principle. So yes, coming back to, so are you able to relate what I am saying to this developmental stage? Yes. So the reason behind I wanted you to watch this to understand this concept of moral development, because to have that self judgment, that where are we as a mentor or as a guide, to our students. Okay, so whenever we are struggling with dilemmas or ethical principles, we need to see whether are we am I there on that post-conventional stage? Uh, is there any universal ethical principle or the interest for me as an educator, as a professional, as a counselor? Uh, is it there, like for in the video we saw that example that the school principal has that universal ethical interest of compassion, so being compassionate towards children. So is it something with us as well, or we are just following ethical, or we are just following rules or ethics randomly? So, as a person, also, you also think, reflect, introspect that what is your own highest moral principle, and as a professional, how you are going to utilize it in your day-to-day professional journey. Uh, so basically, knowing ethical practice and applying ethical practice are two different things. So, a school or any company, NGO gives us the ethical, or wherever we work, they give us some ethical code of conduct. But there are some dilemmas. There can be some ongoing ongoing conflicts that can come as a surprise to us. So it is ongoing journey. So these are just two different things, and it all this requires an ethical sensitivity. Yes. Anything you would like to share, ask? Yes, so moving ahead, let's just discuss about work ethic or the moral principles, vows or virtues, we can call it anything, as a counselor, mentor, educator. So first thing that we need to understand as responsibility. Yes, how to develop moral values among children. So yes, that is something a different topic from today. We are going to talk about as educators moral principles and consideration. But just to answer quickly this question, how to develop moral values. Uh, so initially, so looking at the video, you must have understood that the moral values develop at the different stage. I mean, at the different ages. So just as I have given the example of that 2-3-year-old child cannot have that understanding that we are not supposed to steal something from someone else's house. So that stealing concept is not there with the child. So to develop moral values, we need to ask basically questions. We need to have some role models in front of them. We need to tell them different stories of successful people uh, uh, in the country or in the world, where you have seen that people have dealt with some moral dilemmas, or having the strong moral ethics is going to is going to, so sharing some examples, having that role model as a teacher, as a parent, is going to certainly help. So I have seen many children that they in the school, their teachers, or they know that, okay, so taking again the same example of following the traffic rules, that okay, so there is a um, one way road is there, and the student is able to read that sign on the board, but still a parent or any guardian takes the child in that one way, in the wrong way direction. The child easily points out, okay, you are doing it wrong. So is it some so child understand that, yeah, it's okay to sometimes break the rules, right? So yes, having the role model, and also also helping students to understand that there are going to be different people. So there are going to be some people who are going to follow some rules, or have some moral etiquettes, and there are going to be some those who are not going to follow that. So it's going to have it should be like it should be child's decisions at that moment. And also to when we talk about moral development, it is also important to understand that asking questions like what will happen if you like if you decide this on this moral judgment, and what will happen if you decide to do something else. Okay. So yes, so moral development of a child, value education is altogether a different topic. But yes, I tried to give some hints over this. So yes, so talking about our own responsibility as a counselor, educators, mentors of the students. So responsibility. So we need to understand, like we discussed in the beginning, that. We need to have that conscious responsibility that our actions are going to have, or communication are going to have some positive and negative impact on the child, on the student, or the child basically. Then confidentiality, that is students or mentees name. So we do not understand, we easily or loosely take that, okay, this XYZ child, na, that child, even discussing at our house, discussing at our home, even discussing with our spouse or a partner or a parent or our own children or our own friends basically, we easily take the student's name, students, parents' name, or basically overall any of the students' identity. So it should be avoided. So in a school or a college, you can see a very regular scenario that teachers are labeling students. Okay, oh, that child in that class now is very. Is very annoying, or whatever it is. So labeling child with taking the name. So you can discuss that. We can of course discuss our challenges. Okay, that XYZ child is without taking the name. We just can say that we can maintain that anonymous name, that okay, that X child or that ABC child, or we can just say that one of the child in my class or one of my mentees, instead of taking the actual name. Or even though if as an educator or a mentor, if you are going to write something about your like something about your experience, your mentoring relationship, it's better to either do not I mean, it's better to not to disclose the name, or you can change the name and mention that for the confidentiality reason. The name is like the name which I have used in article is hypothetical name. Okay. Confidentiality about mentee is one part, and confidentiality about the mentoring conversation is also one part. So if any some serious situation, serious trauma, or serious things are happening in child's or student's life or in the house, it's important that we keep it secret. Okay, so because the basically student has that should have the trust that okay, whatever I am going to share with my teacher or the faculty or my mentor, it is going to be safe. Of course, the real mentoring relationship should start with that trust only. Um, there should have some boundaries in the relationship. So as we discussed that our personal biases should not come in between our professional communication or the conversation between the students. Okay, it is very it at sometimes it might be very difficult. So for example, if a students I have some issues with students parent. I know the student parent. The student parent is my classmate from my college, and I have some conflict issues or grudges or something with that. So it's very obvious that as a human being, I can view that student in that perspective, in those spectacles. So I need to remove the spectacles and wear the new glasses, right? Yes. Another important thing is understanding our own competence. So being conscious about my own as an educator counselor, my own strengths and weaknesses, where I can help the student and where I cannot help the students. At the right stage, I need to understand that okay, where I should refer the student to a professional, any other professional. Okay, so something is serious is coming up, then as an educator, I need to know that okay, I am not a qualified person, I am not well trained in this XYZ matter, so I should give the appropriate resource, because as a mentor, as an educator, we are not someone who who knows everything from everywhere, right? We have, as a human also, we have our own limitations that we need to be aware of. And so for example, if students come to me and a student is students having some uh, questions related to maybe music, right? Or the students want something guidance regarding some musical things. But I am not a musician, I am not a music teacher, I am not a singer. So how can I help that student, right? So beyond my competency, I cannot help the my student or the mentee. So that needs to be understood. So providing the appropriate resources at appropriate time is very crucial. Our students mentees has right to know their feedback. They need to know their progress, how they are progressing in their whatever is their journey, whether it can be academic, it can be social, it can be emotional. So they need to know their feedback, where they are, whether they are improving or not, what is helping your own observation about this student. In the first session, we also discuss about mentoring, that it is a mutual relationship. So any forced relationship is there, it is not going to work, of course. So relationships should not be forced. And as a mentor, counselor, you also need to know that it is not going to be compulsory, not it is not going to be a compulsion act, compulsory to follow whatever you guide, compulsory to follow your advice. Yes. The next is again important: unconditional acceptance and positive regard towards the mentee. So, unconditional means, can you share one example of what unconditional means to you? Yes, what is unconditional? When we say unconditional love, what it means? Without expectations, yes. So unconditional means there should not be like categories or conditions like okay, only if the student tops in my subject, then only I am going to mentor the student, right? So this should not happen. So unconditional is, and so whatever happens, whatever the child goes, the student goes through, there should have a positive regard. So having that positive approach or wishing well for that student is very necessary. Yes. Bhavna ma'am, Archana ma'am, without judgment, being a non-judgmental educator is very important. Yes. Congruence of the mentor. So congruence is basically understanding that whatever who am I? So self awareness of the mentor is also necessary. Okay, where my biases are coming. So trying to see oneself in a third person view as well. So okay, am I not liking this? Okay, these grudges or these biases are coming in between our relationship. So just being aware of it is important. And yes, self introspection, very rightly said. Next is not to encourage dependency, because we also discuss about autonomy. We are going to promote autonomy of the student. So dependency we will see in the next slide. Uh, yeah, so congruency of the mentor and enhanced self-awareness are basically the similar things that we need to recognize our own biases, initial impressions, opinions, stereotypes. So mentor, so as we discussed, the self-care of a mentor is also what is necessary to have a good mentoring relationship. Yes. Now something very important, and I'm just going towards again that self-care and boundary setting part. That in counseling we say that there has to be involved detachment or detached involvement. Okay, what it means? Switch on, switch off, right? I remember that. I mean, last week only. So in our institution, we run one of the diploma courses regarding the gifted education, and the course is basically online, 70%, and we have contact sessions per semester. So last week those contact sessions were there, and in our batch there is one teacher, like this academic year, she took a gap of 1 year because she was sharing that because she said, like, I'm going to quote her words now, that there were 40 to 50 students in my class, and each day after the school I was taking the stress, or I mean the I was taking that 40 children with me at my home. So it was, she was not able to do that switch on switch off thing, and she felt that I'm carrying that burden of all 40 students in my class. Can you all relate with this? Yes. Can you all relate with this, that when you are a teacher or a faculty member or a mentor, you, like, it adds to your own body, your own mind. Yes, I'm getting all positive responses over here, right? So it is so much to have. So it is very important to have that detached involvement. So not being too much involved. So having that, okay, I wish good for that student, but some compartmentalization, some detachment should be there. Teachers should be involved in the child's development, but also not much involvement detached with the child's problem. Yes, it can be involvement in problems, or also in achievements or the good things as well. Uh, at home, we have small college in our mind. Very, very rightly said. We can't stop thinking about whatever we are doing. Yes, freedom, freedom, right? Yes. Uh, yes. So just I want you to look at these four stages of mentoring. Why I'm saying that too much involvement is not recommended. I mean, the detachment should be there. So basically, there are these four stages. Uh, so initial stage is basically where the relationship has started. Cultivation is actually the mentor has started. Uh, and actually, the mentoring has started. The student has following their sessions or something. But third thing is there can be a separation. Okay, as we discussed that competency, okay, this is not, as a mentor, this is not something I am good with, so I might recommend or I might refer this child to another mentor or another teacher. So if that separation is mutual, then that is okay, but separation is uh, if that separation is random, then it might hamper the student's well-being and as a teacher's well-being as well. So it should be accepted by both the parties. Then only it cannot be that much stressful. Then there can be the redefinition as well. So right now you do not need my constant support or a constant mentoring, but we can have that redefined relationship as a mentor and mentee, and that mentee can become a mentor later. So that chain of mentoring can happen in this stage. So that's why the separation part is tricky, where that if there is too much attachment with it, then that might get very stressful for you as an educator. Yes. Anything till now you would like to add, share any experiences of yours? Okay, so initially we discussed about confidentiality, that we are not supposed to discuss. We are not supposed to discuss what the conversation between you and your mentee. You are not supposed to tell the name, but there are some points where we might need to break that confidentiality. Um, is there anyone aware of that? Yes, should understand where to switch off. Where can we break the confidentiality of information provided by the student, client, mentee? When there is a physical harm to the student, yes. So there are two points where we can break the confidentiality. So when there is a potential harm of or the potential of strong harm to the self, and when there is a potential of strong harm to others as well. If a person saying that, okay, I'm going to kill someone or I'm going to kill myself, so some strong suicidal ideation is there, or harming ideation of harming someone else is there, then we can break the confidentiality. So basically, so confidentiality is something which is not absolute, right? So these are the points where we are supposed to break the confidentiality, but this is important that taking clients' consent for this disclosure, that okay, I am going to disclose your information to your parent or any significant other. Then, if there is a when I sense that there is a strong potential of harming yourself or harming someone else. So, whenever, as an educator, if you are in any dilemma, legal or ethical dilemma, uh, whether you're not sure what my actions what consequences are going to be there of my actions, or of my mentee's action, then it's better to have taking that legal guidance wherever required. But it is also necessary that the students also need to know that they should be aware of, okay, when I'm going to, like, whatever you share will be safe with me, but if I find any potential harm to yourself or the others, then only I need to have some emergency contact. I need to talk with your parents or the guardian regarding this. The client should know that the consequences. Okay. uh, yes, anything you want to ask, share till now? Okay. Just a little bit about something, as we are going, like, regarding the legalities or the thing. So in India, uh, there is no licensing body, not a proper licensing body as in other countries. Uh, but we have this Mental Health Care Act. The first, initially, it was initiated in 1987, which was that time or later to that time also widely criticized because they didn't include a psychiatrist, clinical psychologist in forming the act. And the proper, it was not properly seen the rights of mentally ill person. And then in 2017, we have that new Mental Health Care Act. Just I'm just sharing this for your just information. So through this act, some rights are extra given to the people who are mentally unwell. So they have the right to get that mental health care. Uh, is necessary. And also, if you all are aware that initially, before this, the suicide was considered, so if someone attempting or even someone died due to suicide was considered, that act was considered punishable, but now it is not a criminal act. So that thing is, you all should know that. And other changes have made that the mental health treatment should be equal for all, and it should, the poor, those who are below poverty line should also get that mental health treatment, etc. things. Mm. When mentor knows she needs any professional help to guide his or her, mentor has to inform the mentee. Yes. Uh, yes. Anything till now? Anything you would like to share, add? Okay, so I guess now we can go to our next topic uh, of supporting students' well-being in the digital age. Uh, okay, so before we go ahead, I have a task. I have an activity for you. I want every one of you to you can minimize your screen, Google Meet screen, and I want you to type in your Google Chrome or whatever Explorer or Internet Edge, whatever you are using, I want you to type that I am feeling low. So in the Google, you will just type that I am feeling low or I have a problem, something like that. And I want your answer, like what the Google page gives you to you.
It is giving free mental health counseling numbers.
Yes, yes, yes. So you might get healthcare services, some telephonic 24 by 7 services,
24 by 7. Yes.
counseling websites, right, right. So, yes, because we are in this digital age, it is now possible to have, like, even Google knows, even if you type something like that, Google knows that, okay, you need help and what it can be done. Yes, 24 by 7 counseling, helpline numbers it can give to you, right? So,
Solution for anxiety and depression.
right, right. Coping with stress, symptoms, and signs of depression. Right. So if you just type these one sentence or the 4 5 letters, it is giving you the vast information, right? Through which some might also go into the trap of self-diagnosis. This happens with any medical illness as well. Even though I type any random like if even though I just type migraine, it can give me vast range, okay, how normal it can be and how serious it can be. So with with some well-being issues also, it can give a vast variety, vast range. So because we are in basically the digital era. So, what is digital age? Basically, it is also known as information age or the computer age or new media age. The age basically which is widespread use and reliance on the digital technologies, particularly computers, internet, and various ICT age, right? And electronic devices. So initially, this was not there that okay, I can type somewhere that I am not feeling okay, and that some non-living thing is giving me some advice or giving me some helping uh, hands. So when we talk about guidance in digital age, uh, there are various other modalities like video conferencing is there. So if one of your student is going abroad or going out of station, the still you can be connected. You can give your mentoring can happen throughout the life course because of the facility of video calls, video conferencing. So right now we are also meeting virtually through the video conferencing only. Then you can have telephonic sessions on the tips of hand. Right. Then telephone is also there. WhatsApp call, internet calls, WhatsApp calls, Google Meet calls. A normal phone call is also available. Text based also available. So even if you can see that as a teacher, student can text you uh, anytime and get your guidance. So on the WhatsApp or any other texting app also, uh, it is possible. And for when we are talking about well-being, there are some mobile applications where you can get self-help tools. It can be of meditation. So there is this app called Headspace or NIMHANS, National Institute of Neuroscience, Mental Health and Neuroscience. They have also developed that one app for mental well-being of students or any individual. And initial help can be achieved through this when we are talking about mental health, basically. But the scope of guidance and mentoring is very vast. So even though you're not in the same place with the student, still you can get connected. Even so, the separation stage, we saw the stages of mentoring. Even though there is a separation stage, you can get connected through this various modalities. Yes, some musical apps, soothing music apps are also there when we are feeling stressful. There are a lot of, so in psychological therapies, there are different therapies like or different relaxation techniques, I would say that, are there. Uh, and through YouTube videos, YouTube or even podcast, all the things are available. As someone said, that at the tips of the hand. So lot of various modalities also there. But now the question comes: what are the advantages and disadvantages, or pros and cons of this digital era? Yes, uh, choices, lot of choices, options. Yes,
Can I say something?
yes, please.
With the digital era, what is happening is a lot of communication is taking much faster, wanted and unwanted communication. Lot of information is available which can mislead you, misguide you, might help you also. And we really don't know where is it coming from. So with all
Right,
these, there are fair chances that, the subject is misguided or
right.
he may doubt about your ability. Now what is happening in colleges is like they use chat gpt, and now you're giving some answer, they will verify with chat gpt, although chat gpt is giving good answer, but
Hmm.
they will always be in a challenging mode. Now we can see the change actually in the market. Like earlier students used to respect a lot. I mean to say
Hmm.
students used to respect teacher. I don't mean to say they don't respect now, but they still doubt and try to challenge because they are provided with a lot of information which is on their
Hmm.
fingertips, and they
Right.
do it. So now this side, if we are not aware and we are not digitally savvy, then possibly we don't know where the answers are coming from, how he is doing those things so nicely and all that. Now with generative AI, what is going to happen is the PowerPoint presentations are also generated, the pictures are also
Hmm.
generated. So now it is very difficult to know a good student, bad student, because a lot of tools are also there. So now this is a quite big jargon, very difficult to explain. But I thought this
Hmm.
aspect, so we should also be digitally aware. That is what I wanted to say
Right.
to all these things. That's all.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely right, sir. So, yes, we are going to discuss now the pros and cons of this digital age. Uh, but yes, the one point, sir, as mentioned, important point is that we are not aware that where this all this coming from. For so we don't know the students' language because there are speaking in some different digital language. So yes, this happens. So let's discuss pros basically. So digital era, internet help. So it has given the accessibility. Uh, even though there is no one around me in my profession, if I'm living in a small village or something, but still through the internet, I have accessibility to reach out to the mentor who is there in my profession or in my field basically. The importance of accessibility we have all seen when there was a COVID lockdown and overall all the 2-3 COVID waves, so that people were feeling lonely in isolation wards or in quarantine. Uh, but due to the video call, due to WhatsApp and all the things, Zoom calls, it was so we were able to reach out with each other, right? So accessibility is also important for the students or individuals who have some physical limitations. So for that also, this digital age is also helping us. Then convenience. So we don't need to commute that. So this is also you all are having this FDP, faculty development. So you are not supposed to commute anywhere. I'm not supposed to commute anywhere. So convenience is there. I'm saving my energy to drive. We are saving our energy to drive. We are saving the fuel and so on. We are saving the time of commute as well. Then anonymity. So that means that so for the text based or something like, there can have some option that okay, I'm not going to reveal my name. So that can happen. That is also one of the pros. Or for so you when you enter that okay, I'm feeling low on the Google and you got that a helpline number. So there was so when if you have tried calling that helpline number, so it is not a compulsion to give your name. But when we go for in-person thing, then we are supposed to reveal some of our identity. Then there are diverse options, as we have seen that okay, we have telephone, if not telephone, video calls, audio calls, text is also there, mobile applications are also there. Uh, it is affordable, yes. So we discussed that affordable because if we are talking about psychological counseling, going to a psychological counselor in a counseling space where the counselor needs to pay the rent of that space, but versus a counselor having the counseling sessions on video calling, so that there is a video call consultation is going on, the counselor need not pay the rent. The counselor can take the sessions from the counselor's house and client from the client's house. So it can have affordability for some. Then scheduling flexibility. So at night also we can have a conversation with our students. We can have mentoring session with the student. Even though the student is busy during the day, you are busy in your entire day. So these are some pros. And cons, yes, of course there are cons, like privacy concerns. So if I'm having some conversations or some text-based support and someone takes my phone, then it can hamper the privacy. Then there can be technical issues or the disturbances, like internet can have problem, the device can have problem. So yes, lot of different things, different technical issues of server, internet, device can happen. Uh, we through the online or the telephonic thing, we overlook the non-verbal cues, and non-verbal cues like so maybe if you have discussed in communication, so non-verbal cues are also a part of communication only. Okay, so student is taking too much pause in between sentences, or the student is not looking into my eyes. So these are some body language or non-verbal cues that we need to understand. which we tend to miss in uh, online or the telephonic session. It is of course not suitable for the remote areas where there are technological limitations. So yes, these are some pros. Would you like to add anything in pros or cons? Yes, some have said that yes, emotional health hampers if we use too much digital devices. It is going to hamper our uh, health, physical or the emotional. Okay, so now let's move ahead a bit about uh, as an educator, as a mentor, what will be our role. So, digital role model basically. Uh, so, as sir mentioned, that we are not aware of okay what the new technologies are, what the new softwares are, and what the child is coming from, what is the child's language basically. So having some knowledge about okay chat gpt, okay what chat gpt gives or what other ai tools give. Okay, so instagram, so what instagram is and what it gives, and why lot of students are engaging their lot of time in instagram. So to it helps us to empathize with them little bit. So basically, being aware of what other digital or media things are so edu- are there, and also being a role model. That means that okay, I know this thing, but I also know the boundary line. I also know that where I should stop, and that is the something that students need to learn, right? Um, then the next is active listening. So even though you are communicating your student with a telephone or with a video call or something, so when we are in person, it is essential to like to see in the eyes or not doing so. If a student comes to us for some guidance, and if we are only scrolling through the mobile phones, then it is not going to it is not going to have a fruitful communication between mentee and a mentor. So having that, so even though you're on the telephone, not doing any other work or giving actual full attention to your conversation at that time is uh, is important. So that kind of active listening, even though you're not face to face with each other, is important. Then uh, some even I teach at diploma and PG UG level. In my experience, that it is very nowadays it is very normal to have students are taking their cell phones to the class, right? And whatever I am teaching, they sometimes Google or maybe they are not even paying attention to us, and they are just scrolling through Facebook or WhatsApp. So, so this year I have stated this ground rule that okay, you are supposed to take your mobile phones out of your bag only when I tell you. Okay, because for some sessions, okay, I tell them to okay, search for this or fill this Google form or solve this test, online test, or solve the small quiz, etc. So. That is necessary. So we need to incorporate some digital tools in the education as well, but also it's very important to have some device free sessions classes. So you can have a device free session or the class, even you are not using your laptop or a projector or a smart board or something like that, you can take your one of your class in maybe the garden of the school or the college, maybe in the corridor, maybe outside of the campus, somewhere else. So having some device free sessions, so digital detox, we say that. So digital detox during the education is also necessary sometimes. That will also help to have that digital role model to the students. Then very important part is digital skill development. So for an educator to have that media literacy, and also for the students, that they also need to know that they should have some of course it depends on the what the profession or what the field of yours is, but basically having that media literacy. So as so in my example, as our student pass out there from the diploma, so it's a diploma of school counseling, so they, after passing out, they usually find jobs in schools. So so they come to us for the guidance regarding how should I find a job or something. So my first question is, okay, do you have a CV, do you have a resume? So I check their resume, I check their CV, and also I also insist them to have their LinkedIn presence. Okay, so LinkedIn is another. So it is again even though it is a media, but it is a media used for professional development or to have your presence on a digital media. It is important to have your LinkedIn account. Of course, again, I'm saying that this depends on what is your field. So. So yes, encouraging students to have a positive digital presence is necessary. Then giving digital projects, so using different softwares like Canva or video editing or even podcast also. So it's better to give such digital projects where they are engaged in that digital devices also, but they can also learn that okay, these digital devices are going to help me grow, or these digital devices are um medium to convey something into today's age. Um are you able to relate to all these things? So, teaching or helping or facilitating students to have the positive digital presence is necessary. Then, building critical thinking. So, as Avinash sir mentioned, that the student, like, there is a lot of huge information available there, and we also like in the joke we say that okay, this information come to me via WhatsApp University. Okay, so there are random messages are being forwarded on WhatsApp. So but as we discussed that we don't know the authenticities of the information, we don't know from where this information is coming. So enhancing that critical thinking, that means we need to we need to encourage students to ask questions. Okay, so someone has posted this gives this benefits or something like that. So we need to understand that we can ask questions from where you got this information. What is the research? We need to teach students that the difference between facts and opinion. Is it someone's opinion on XYZ subject, or is it the fact basically? So that we need to encourage to build that critical thinking among students. Yes, boundaries and self-care, again important topic that we need to discuss that importance of setting boundaries uh, with the media, with all the digital devices, with the students. And so we discuss that self-care is important and all these things, but having that no internet zone, no device zone, uh, boundary where like how much time you are going to spend on your mobile phones is also necessary. Then another important issue is basically of uh, cyber security. So importance of not sharing your password, having a strong password, or arranging such seminars or webinars for your students is necessary. So for in some colleges or universities there is this extra credit, compulsory credit is also there regarding the cyber security. Uh, but that needs to be delivered in a relatable way. Yes, Zubeda ma'am. Okay. We also need to ask or teach students about safety part of digital or and media use. We need to discuss about the security and cyberbullying concept with students as well, and how much personal information that can be shared on the device and media is also can be discussed. Uh, so yes, this is regarding our role as an educator. Uh, Anything you would like to share? Yes, it has become a challenge in this ICT age. Any your own experience regarding this digital age and supporting well-being, or your any ethical dilemmas also managing online and offline? Yes. So after COVID and lockdown, after the online teaching learning phase, lot of students consider just want to share one example of my nephew. He is in he's 5 year old, basically very small, and he doesn't like to go to the school, but and he likes to stay one of our house which is far away from the city, basically far away from the school. So he says that I will stay here only. Then we ask him, okay, okay, but what about the school? Do you have school every day, Monday to Friday? You are supposed to go to the school. So he said, no, doesn't matter, I will attend the school online. So even 5 year old is also looking for such online options and is okay with like it doesn't matter to him that okay if education is happening or not, but that personal space and that comfort is what the child was looking for. Yes, personal space is hampered. They check your location as well. So yes, even you talk something in your friend circle as well. So if you talk something about, let's say, water bottle, you start getting ads of water bottles. So this is very like, we feel that okay, privacy has hampered, and we feel that okay, someone is always constantly looking after us. So that literacy regarding the safety of, like, okay, where I should hide my like location is also necessary.
Yeah, ma'am, I
Completely
would like
online mode.
to say something.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, ma'am. See, one thing I would like to tell that most of our phones are Android phones, which is actually handled by Google. And we have the false concepts of privacy and security. In fact, Google has all the information. Whether you switch on your location or whether you switch off your location is still available. All your data is available with Google, although Google will not share it directly with anybody. They may use it for marketing purpose, but we should be aware of that most of our data is being available to Google. And now we have to take care of what data we should put on our handset and what data we should not put on our handset. So that is very important. So critical information, if you think you have sufficient copies and all that, I mean to say awareness of securing your privacy and I mean to say data, both. If you think the data breach can lead to problems, then that kind of initial education has to be given. So in fact, on handset, almost all the things, even Google is taking the backup of your mobile. So most of our pictures are there on Google Photos, and Google is using for AI implementation. So it is okay. But the thing is, awareness about this has to be spread, and
Yes.
then they should be taught how to take care of themselves. In short.
Hmm. Yes. Thank you, sir. Yes. Definitely. Yes, completely online mode had its own set of challenges, right? So most of you, like my personal experience was like communicating through the online lectures was like, just I'm just only talking to my own screen only. Uh,
In fact, I have some experiences during COVID. Should I?
yes, yes, sir.
So what has happened actually after COVID batch? In fact, our COVID batch was placed very well. We are also surprised. I don't know how it happened. But the thing is now, after COVID, what is happening? The peer learning part has vanished, and that specific batch, doesn't know what is happening around. So they were always in online mode. That is one part. Second part is most of them used to just log in and move around, and then they were physically not there, and they were not listening at all. And that we have experienced taking attendance, all those issues were there. So what they have lost the contact with people. I mean to say, whatever learning used to happen in the groups, I
Hmm.
mean informal formal group, that has gone. And what happens, that motivates you when you look at people, when you talk to people, you get motivated. So that didn't happen. Second thing, on
Yes.
when you are having online education, basically either icons are there and no, you can't see the people properly. You don't see the expressions also properly. You just see them as icons many times. So whatever you said, like non-verbal communication and all that, that doesn't happen. So they are detached to a greater extent, specifically that batch. Now it will take time to
Hmm.
cope up and resume the things. That's what I feel.
Yes. Absolutely. But yeah, that is true that most of the students used to just log in and just do their other work or etc. But as an educator, we can identify students who are very genuine and sincere, basically. So, just my own experience of last year. So we have the diploma where I taught is basically compulsory offline. So we do not encourage, because it's about counseling, and counseling cannot be taught in an online mode. Um, all the most of the inquiries we get are basically a shortcut for the learning counseling. uh, but we do not provide online counseling course right now. So but during the during the first or second month only, one of our students got injured due to road accident, and we allowed her to attend the class online. So it was a blended class, so only she was there through the Google Meet, and other student was there physically in front of us. But the batch was quite challenging for us. But as a teacher, I used to realize that her questions, she was more attentive than the few students in my class, in offline class. So it also depends on the sincerity and genuineness of the students. So that differs person to person, student to student, basically. Uh, Yes, but yes, students Corona batch have. I'm just reading some messages in the chat box. They suffered a lot in terms of socio-cultural interactions at classroom and institutional level, which has definitely impacted their learning and well-being as a whole as well. Yes, and of course we can't live without our smartphones.
Yeah, online learning has also helped us to deliver the course during COVID.
Right.
Otherwise, we would not have been able to deliver the course. We could
Yes.
conduct examinations, we could distribute the material. So there is flip side also. So if we have a proper blend of offline and online, I think we can effectively use the online,
Yes.
mode, which is very good for distribution of material also, communication
Yes.
also, distance also.
Absolutely. Yes. Yes. And recently, for us, we had this one session on flipped classroom. So flipped classroom is basically, like, you all must be aware that, so we give students to some video or some reading material to read or to watch before the class. And all the I mean, according to Bloom's taxonomy, lower order thinking thinking should happen at the home, and the higher order uh, thinking should facilitate during the actual classroom. So we had that session for faculty for us, and so that time also we realized the use, like how we can use this digital platform positively for the educational purposes. So in Gyan Prabodhini also we have one center of designing educational or making educational videos for school going children. And in the COVID, it was used vastly, not just in urban areas, but in rural parts of some Maharashtra as well. So yes, both the like each coin has two sides. So this is the same case with when we are talking about media and devices, digital devices, internet, and everything. But the part where we have to focus is basically the having that equilibrium, having the role model of the balance between using the smart devices to uh, like when to use, when not to use. Students don't come prepared. They don't want to study the material. Hardly 10% of students study. Yes, in flipped classroom. Yes. Also, we also had this discussion in our session.
Correct.
So,
Yeah, was
so
it?
some maybe behavioral techniques, like if you do not watch this, uh, you are not, so you cannot attend the class or something like that. So some techniques we might use, or even I use that. Okay, I give some 30 minutes of my own lecture only to read the material. Our self and digital tools to be able to teach and communicate online. Yes, absolutely. So in COVID, we all did that. We all were not aware, okay, how to use Zoom, how to use Google Meet, how to prepare, how to make good PowerPoint presentations. But we all are slowly learning that. Mm, yes. So now we are just going to conclude this session, not just this session, but the series of last 5 days. So the quick recap of what we went through. So initially we saw the basic comparison of these three terminologies of guidance, counseling, and mentoring, and what is the overall concept of mental health and well-being. So mental illness is a different part. So mental health doesn't necessarily means that having no mental illness, but it is beyond that. We also saw the well-being approach of it, that whether the someone is flourishing or not as well. Then on the second day, you saw that the conflicts, so various conflicts and stakeholders in so conflict management, conflict resolution, and how you can help, and how you can identify different issues of students. Then thirdly, you saw the teachers as a guides and a mentor. So what is the role of mentors, characteristics of mentor, why mentoring is needed, and what are the competencies and of effective mentoring are. Then, yesterday you saw effective communication skills, 7 C's of communication, and basically active listening, paraphrasing, questioning, and also the second part was basically identifying and nurturing potential. And today we saw ethical and legal consideration and guidance and ethical and moral basically. So we saw the Kohlberg's theory of moral development, and we need to check on ourselves whether I have that universal interest of students' well-being. Uh, and we discuss about our role, our responsibility, and students understanding students' needs, students' right to know the feedback, taking the full like understanding that whatever this mentoring relationship has is going to happen, is going to have some positive or even negative impact as well. And we also discuss about having the self-care for an educator as well. So in digital well-being also, it is necessary, as we discussed, that due to the phone and WhatsApp, at any time in the day, like they do not see the time and they just call us or they just text us regarding the, it can be regarding the syllabus, it can be regarding any administrative stuff as well. So that boundary also needs to be maintained by the student and by the educator as well. And then now we right now are discussing about the pros and cons of this digital era, and how having digital device-free classroom, device-free sessions, digital detox sessions, and at the same time having that proficiency and media and digital literacy is also important at the same time. So having the media related literacy for the students for their professional well-being is also professional growth is also important. Like we discuss about designing a CV or resume, or having the positive LinkedIn presence, etc. So yes, this was a quick recap. Thank you so much again, Azam College and Dr. P.A. Namdar University for inviting us. Just just about the 3 of our courses. I can share this with you, that because you are an educator, any one of the course can be very fruitful and useful for your professional journey as well. So we have one full-time diploma in school psychology, So those who are interested to be a counselor, student school counselor, can opt for this. Then one diploma in gifted education, if you are interested in talent development enhancement. This is a diploma for professionals. So even though you are working, anyone who is working can opt for this. And we have a correspondence distance course of 6 months also, to if you are more interested to learn about child psychology, developmental psychology, different adjustment issues, etc. So yes, again, thank you so much for your wonderful participation and uh, attendance for not just today but for all 3 days. I'm just going to share feedback for today's session. So your genuine feedback are going to help us. So yes, would you like to ask anything or share anything?
In fact, I would like to give a feedback of the entire program. Should I?
Yes, sir, please.
First of all, I would like to thank PI Inamdar University and Dr. MD Lawrence, Vice Chancellor, and the convener, Dr. Anita Belapurkar, for conducting such a wonderful program. And I also thank Jana Prabodhini Institute of Psychology for providing the speakers and giving very valuable inputs. So I think, Isha, you had more part of the program. You had 2 sessions. You spoke on overview and concepts and ethical and legal consideration support in the digital age. Then followed by Asmita Darvish, who spoke about conflict resolution, identification of issues. Then Dr. Dhanashri Savani spoke about teachers as guides and mentors. Then skills and competencies for effective mentoring she spoke about. And Prerna Karulkar spoke about effective communication skills, nurturing potentials. So overall, I think the inputs were excellent, and all of you have taken efforts to prepare your presentation. And I think you tried to put most of the things in place now. How much we absorb is up to us. So one of the books like Tuesdays with Maurice, I think I had received it long back, but I just had a recall of that. So thank you for that. And overall, I would like to thank the management, the faculties, and the participants for responding, participating in the program. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Please.
It was really a nice session, ma'am. If anybody else from the participant want to share their experience in throughout the FDP, how did you like this, and give their feedback, then you are expected to give it now.
Hello. Hello. Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Can I give the feedback?
Yes, sure.
Yeah. Good morning, ma'am. Good afternoon, sorry. I think the session was very good and they were very well organized and everything was covered. Like considering the nature of the sessions, it was very interactive and I think there was active participation of although it was on the online mode, but still the resource persons ensured that there is active participation of all the participants. That is the best part. Like that was very good. And even the content quality and the way it was being delivered to all the participants was very nice. It was one step making us more empathetic towards our own students. So that was very good, and I surely look forward to doing some course for the educators that you just mentioned. I'll check out and definitely I'm keen to do that. And overall, it was a good experience. Thank you, everyone. Thank you to the organizing colleges. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your feedback, ma'am.
I think one of our participant, Asha ma'am, wants to share something. But ma'am, you are not audible.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Isha ma'am, I just wanted to ask you one question. In our college, we are following the system of mentee and mentorship from last 10 years. And we have allotted every mentee a particular mentor. Sometimes we feel that mentees are expecting beyond the formal relationship of mentor and mentee, as we have guided to our mentors that they should be more concerned with the mentees academic and professional development. But sometimes mentees are expecting from the mentors that they should solve or they should deal with their personal problems. So kindly guide me that how I can tell the students that this is your own personal matter, and we are here to help you for professionally and for academic growth. Because sometimes students taking, we can say that, taking the extra advantage of the faculties that are available for us every time. So unnecessarily they are disturbing the faculties also, and they are trying to engage the faculties in their informal or the personal issues. So kindly guide.
Right. Yes, thank you so much, ma'am, for this very important and crucial question. Uh, so basically, as we discussed, mentoring is a complex and toothbrush concept, if you remember. So it can be very formal to very informal as well. So it's very natural that students are expecting more than academic and professional guidance. So as we discussed today, that mentors, competencies, and boundaries. So for the teachers who are basically mentors, we need to have some maybe the training of assertiveness. So okay, so so we are telling a lot of things, like there has to be a positive concerns, unconditional consent towards the students, but also we need to have some boundaries. So we can share with our students that okay, I'm here to listen to briefly maybe what you are personally going through, your personal stresses, distresses, or the issues, but I'm not equipped with to solve all this for you, or to help, or even to help solve. So you are only expected to solve your own problems, but I am not the right person to guide you in this regard. So I would suggest you can go to the XYZ person. So yes, it might get tricky for the mentors or the teachers to have that boundary to say. So we are not going to say no directly, but maybe through that assertiveness. Okay, I understand that you are going through some issues, but I am not a good person to help you. This we can share with the students.
Yes, thank you so much, ma'am. Yeah.
And basically that okay, I want you to solve this your problem. I want you to be in a state of peace or a well-being. So I hope that your personal issues gets resolved as soon as possible. So for that, go to the equipped person.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, any other question?
I would like our. Does any participant want to share something? Then you can share. Okay, if not, I would continue with our closing session, and I would like to invite our Dean and Principal at Jim Azam College of Education, Dr. P. Namda University, to give feedback on the whole FDP.
Thank you, Devjani. Good afternoon to you all. Uh, this 5 days experience was just a feast to all of us. We were a little bit confused that because we have kept it open for all the teachers, teacher educators, then administrators, whoever wants to or are interested in this particular topic to discuss, to get the information, content, and apply it. But, ma'am, yes, indeed, Jana Prabodhini, resource persons, discussions, and orientations, it was indeed a great experience for all of us. And I would like to, of course, thank you all, plus all the participants also, because they enthusiastically participated. We had almost 200 registrations, and not only on Google Meet but on YouTube Live also. Many of them are or else some members have asked that we want to participate in it, but because of some limitations of Google Meet and all, we couldn't help them out in that respect. But in future, of course, we would like to have such collaborations with Jana Prabodhini madam. We would like to have MOUs or collaboration linkages, something like, and not only online experience or online faculty development programs. We would like to have you offline in our campus. So welcome, madam, and thank you very much.
Would like to visit.
Yes, ma'am. And one more thing is, especially on this platform, I would like to congratulate my two new members of Dr. P.A. Namdar University, Dr. Poonam Sonawne and Dr. Devjani Chakravarti, because in a very short time, means I've given, I think, of 15 days, our Vice Chancellor has just given us an idea of this counseling and mentoring, and particularly he has insisted about, ma'am, you people, and within these 15 days, they did a great job. So congratulations to both of you. And of course, I would like to thank you all the participants and the resource persons especially. I would like to thank our management people also, because due to their motivation, support, and all this inspiration only, we could do a lot. And this was our first faculty development program of Dr. P.A. Namdar University's Assam College of Education. So thank you once again to all of you, and over to Devjani.
Thank you, ma'am, for your feedback. Thank you, our guest speaker. And at last, but not least, I would like to invite Dr. Poonam Sonawne, ma'am, to give the formal thanks to all the participants. Good afternoon to all. On the behalf of SGM Assam College of Education, Dr. P.A. Namdar University, I would like to extend a heartfelt vote of thanks to all of you for gracing us with your presence on 5 days faculty development program. It has been a memorable program, and your presence had added immense value to it. First and foremost, we would like to express our sincere gratitude to our motivation, our patron, Dr. P.A. Namdar Sir, Chancellor of Dr. P.A. Namdar University, Mrs. Abeda Inamdar Ma'am, Vice President of MCE Society, and Professor Irfan Sheikh, Secretary of MCE Society, and Honorable Vice Chancellor Dr. M.D. Lawrence Sir, for their unwavering support and contribution to the success of this event. I would like to thank our respected Dean and Principal Dr. Anita Bilapurkar Ma'am for continuous support and guidance, and for giving us this opportunity to us to coordinate this FDP. We would like to express our sincere gratitude to our distinguished speakers from Jnana Prabodhini, Dr. Dhanashri Sovani Ma'am, Ms. Isha Kanhere Ma'am, Mrs. Prerna Karulkar Ma'am, Ms. Asvita Darvi Ma'am, for their enlightening and enriching sessions. Thank you so much, ma'am. We are also grateful to the technical crew, Mr. Amin sir and Mr. Amrish sir, for their technical support and live streaming of this FDP program. A special word of appreciation goes to our SGM Assam College of Education teaching staff members and non-teaching staff members for their support and cooperation. Last but not the least, a big thank you to our wonderful participants for your active participation and engagement and enthusiasm have made this FDP a memorable experience for all of us. It gives me an immense pleasure to share that in a very short period, we have received overwhelming responses of FDP and more than 200 candidates registered for this FDP. From Pune, Nagar, Nashik, Silvassa, Latur, Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh also. So thank you all of you. In closing, let us not forget the power of gratitude. It is through our collective efforts and support that we can achieve great things. As we are the end of this session of this FDP program, let us carry with us a spirit of unity and appreciation that has defined today's gathering. Thank you once again, and we look forward to your continuous support in our future endeavors. Thank you all. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you once again.
There is one information for the participants that in your mail you will get the feedback form, and that goes for the certification as well. In the chat box, the attendance link is shared.